give thanks for the life of Kate Ensom. This sanctuary space is where, as a child, Kate, along with other children, enjoyed fun, laughter and friendship. This is a space where, on this stage behind me, Kate was in children's pantos as Pinocchio and various other roles. This is a communal space where your sharing together will be about the beauty, the fragility, the radiance, the creativity, the humanity of Kate. And this can lead us into song, into story, and the wonder of the literature worlds that Kate entered into. Look around you at the green. What the impact of Kate has on our lives, including my shoes. This is a holy space where the considering of Kate in our mind's eye, words will be shared, a holy silence may descend, as the beauty of Kate's life and thanks for her radiates a God who must exist and dwells in our midst. Let us pray. Lord, with a spirit of thankfulness, Almighty God, everlasting Father, our Lord, this afternoon we come to join you and the host of heaven to give thanks for the life of Kate Ensom. We ask that you draw near by your presence. Praise be to you, the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who, in your great mercy, give the hope of resurrection. You grant hope, a hope that lingers with us in the present and with you in eternity. As we meet in this holy place, comfort and strengthen us all by the presence of your Holy Spirit. In our hearts, as we give thanks for Kate, may your radiance and majesty, evident in her humanity, be present with us by your Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I now hand over to Will.
Thank you, John. Pretty much said everything I was going to say anyway, so stand up here and stare at you. Looking at how many people there are in the room, we definitely would not have been able to pack you all into the chapel this morning. But it's really good to see so many faces. It either means that Kate was very popular, or some of you are after a free sandwich. I'm going to assume it is the former. She clearly was a very, very popular and well-loved person. And I just want to, again, thank you on behalf of her family that you've come here to be able to honour her, to be able to pay some respects, to be together. Because until now, until today, you've all been grieving, but you've been grieving either as individuals or as small family groups. And today is the first time that you've all been able to come together and to be able to grieve as a community, to be able to share your thoughts and your feelings, to be able to express how you felt about Kate, and to be able to bring her name again alive on your lips as you talk about her. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm not really going to be saying very much more today, because there are going to be family members and friends who are all going to come up, and they're going to be able to share their perspectives of Kate. It's interesting that the ancient Hebrews did not have the language did not have a word for face. It was always faces. And not that people were two-faced, it's just that we are multiple-faced, and we show different faces of ourselves to different people. We show one face to our work colleagues, we show another face to our husbands or our wives, we show another face to our children, another face to our mums, our dads, our families, our friends. Whoever it is, we have a different face for them, and it's a unique face. So whatever face it was that Kate shared with you, we're going to be hearing some of those perspectives today. With that, David, can I invite you to come up, and you're going to share some of your stories as a dad. So thank you, David.
who put that up there.
Sorry.
Wow. You could see what I can see in different faces. I mean, people we've known, loved for 30, 35 years, all Kate's life and before that. And some of you who knew her all her life and some only more recently, but thank you. Thank you so much for it on behalf of Alison and I. Kate's brother Tom, his wife Ruth, Kate's partner Brian, thank you so much for coming today and supporting us. We really appreciate it. And it is, of course, an enormous tribute to Kate for you've done this. Thank you also to Will, our celebrant. Brilliant this morning. And well-chosen words. They're really superb. And you summed Kate up beautifully. Thank you for that. And also for your guidance and support as we planned the games. Thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you to Reverend John and to all our friends at TCM for allowing us to be here and to completely disrupt the church and turn the whole thing round. And thank you for those who helped us do that yesterday. And thank you in advance for those who will turn up tomorrow morning to help us put it all back. And thank you to our techie. Thank you, Tom. Tom has done so much. You'll see all of this, all the tech, the slideshow, the videos.
Well, now will be a good moment to switch you over to the microphone that works then.
I was wondering.
There you go. Much better. Yeah, this one wasn't on, so...
Oh, wow. Oh, right. Oh, that's sort of better, yes. Does that mean that the live streamers can now hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, Auntie Margaret and Auntie Pat. Hello. Yeah. I should explain why we are here in this particular church and facing that way. Kate was an agnostic and a traditional church service would not have been appropriate. This place and the people we've got to know here since Kate was 6 months old played an important part in Kate's life and our family life. She attended Sunday school here, toddler group and playgroup. She met her oldest and longest standing best friend Helly Ward here and took part in Tadley youth drama productions, and from the age of 6, as you've heard, she performed on this stage in 16 annual pantomimes, each performed over 4 nights a few weeks before Christmas, culminating in a role just last Christmas as in Night Fever as a jester. So it's fitting that we gather here. But we shouldn't be here at all. Nobody should die at the age of 35. No parent should have to pay tribute to their daughter in her absence, and we'd give anything for her to be here to see the outpouring of love and affection that we've witnessed since she died and today. I'd like to spend just a few minutes, although we're celebrating her life, just explaining her death, particularly as we're asking for donations to a very specific charity that funds research into the condition that caused her death. Kate was incredibly unlucky. She died of a rare combination of 2 equally rare conditions. In her late 20s, she began to experience symptoms that led to the diagnosis of a rare autoimmune disease. A few years ago, on Rare Diseases Day, Kate put a post on Facebook describing the impact in her own words, and they're going to be read by my cousin Susie.
After around 2 years of appointments and tests, I was diagnosed with anti-synthetase syndrome in August 2019. It is an autoimmune condition, which means my immune system is attacking certain proteins and causing inflammation in my connective tissues, especially my lungs. I have around 50% lung function now. I take 12 tablets every day. Some of them are to stop the progression, and some of them are to stop the side effects of the others. I have also had intravenous drug treatment and may have to again if the numbers do not remain stable. Although onset can vary, most people develop symptoms in their 50s. I was in my 20s. There have been 2 unexpected consequences of my diagnosis. The first was the effect it would have on my mental health. None of the plans that I had for my future involved chronic fatigue, treatments that might result in infertility, or being labelled extremely vulnerable. It took a long time for the reality of my diagnosis to sink in. This will affect me every day for the rest of my life. That is a huge truth to come to terms with, and one that I have massively struggled with. The second unexpected consequence of my diagnosis has been the sheer amount of admin that comes with it. Keeping on top of my repeat prescriptions, storing the meds, organising my pills for the week ahead, chasing the hospital for the next blood test, lung test, results, update. You have to be super organised, and you have to be your own advocate. It is very difficult for those who have not experienced a mental health condition or a chronic illness diagnosis to fully understand what it is like to live with, and that is not their fault. I am very lucky. I have fantastic friends and family who will do all they can to support me. However, I can count on one hand the people I know who truly understand what I am dealing with. That is why I have written this post. I want to reach out to others who might be experiencing something similar, to let them know they are not alone. The support and understanding is out there, but it is hard to find sometimes. If you have found something relevant or of value, please feel free to comment, message me, or share this post with someone you know who might find it helpful.
Thank you, Susie. And as Susie said, that last line, I was going to leave out, but Susie said you shouldn't, because it's typical of her that she wanted to reach out to other people. So Kate went through some dark times, coming to terms with the impact of her condition, forcing her to leave the teaching career that she was loving, knowing she could not have children, and at that same time having the courage to end her ultimately unhappy marriage. After a year of living on her own, she came back to live with Mum and Dad in May 2022, just 3 years ago. Just before this past Easter, Kate developed a sore throat, which developed into a chest infection. By Friday the 16th of May, antibiotics had not helped, and she was admitted to hospital for more intensive treatment. Over the next 2.5 weeks, despite ever-increasing and more intensive investigations and treatment in intensive care, her condition deteriorated. Overnight on the 29th of May, she was sedated and intubated, in other words, put on a ventilator to help her breathing. She went to sleep, relieved that more help was being given. As she remained deeply sedated and thankfully unaware of all that was happening, a condition known as HLH, and I'm going to stick with HLH because the medical term is like out there, but you can look it up. HLH was diagnosed as having taken hold. This is another extremely rare condition which can be triggered by infection, autoimmune diseases, or cancer. Kate had 2 of those triggers: infection, autoimmune disease. After her death, we found out she also had lymphoma, blood cancer. That was a side effect of the drugs she had been on for nearly 6 years to treat her underlying autoimmune condition. Poor Kate didn't stand a chance. On June the 4th, it was clear the battle was lost, and she died later that afternoon. As I said, Kate was extremely unlucky. We are all at greater risk of dying in a car crash on the way home than developing these conditions. In her case, there was no underlying genetic cause, nothing in her lifestyle that led to the illness. Fortunately, neither Kate nor we realised quite how at risk she was, so she was enabled to enjoy the last years of her life and did not go into hospital fearing or knowing that she would die. We will be forever grateful that she simply went to sleep, relieved that she could have a rest and be helped. She knew nothing of the battle that we witnessed over those last days. The entire team at Basingstoke Hospital Intensive Care Unit supported by the specialist HLH team at UCLH Hospital in London, were wonderful and fought to the end to save Kate's life. Many of them were her age. Since she died, we've had another meeting with the haematology consultant, Dr. Kate, who cared for her at the end and are going to support her in future research, in a future research project at Basingstoke Hospital. But in the meantime, we are supporting the research team at UCLH in London, which is the national centre for overseeing the care of patients with HLH all over the country. If you wish to make a donation to help fund that research in Kate's memory, the details of the Just Giving page are on the back of the order of service, and I'm sure we can provide them afterwards as well. And we also have envelopes available for cash and cheques. And thank you to those who've already donated. I think we're going to raise a significant sum of money, so thank you very much. When Kate died, the initial reaction of us all was, of course, shock, sorrow, grief, not simply because she died, but had done so aged just 35. But over the past few weeks, we have begun to come to terms with our immense loss, and we've looked back over her life and realised that 35 years is a shortened life, but it represents a lot of years lived and experienced. And this afternoon, we celebrate those years. As Will said this morning, Kate always liked to lie in, and the day she was born was no exception. She was perfectly happy where she was. It took a lot of coaxing to bring her into this world. But finally, a lovely midwife turned to me and said, "Would you like to hold your daughter, Mr. Ensom?" And I melted, and what a wonderful daughter she was. Despite the lazy start, however, she embraced life. She rolled across the room at 3 months, crawled at 6 months, walked at 9 months. Her brother Tom had been a delightfully compliant child. And we were ill prepared for Kate. She always did precisely what she wanted to do. Nearly all of our closest friends have 3 children. We stopped at 2. So how to characterise Kate? She knew her own mind all her life. 2 of our oldest friends, Mary and Jill, have commented since Kate died that she knew her own mind and did so from a very early age. When she was around 3, we went to visit Mary, and Kate marched into her lounge, looked around, pointed to the cupboard under the stairs and said, "Is that where you keep your toy box?" And Mary said, "Well, I don't have any toys because I don't have any children." She said, "Don't be silly, you have me and Tom." So Mary suggested that the next time Kate visits, she might like to bring a few of her own toys to play with, to which Kate replied, "No, Auntie Mary, you get a toy box." She was adventurous. We've already heard about her falling off, trying to follow Tom down the banister. She also, at Bishopswood Court, which is a sheltered accommodation, Alison used to volunteer and take a couple of elderly couples shopping and bring them back to their first floor apartment overlooking an atrium. And she was just helping them in the door with their shopping, and toddler Kate was down there, up on the planter and up on the edge of the atrium looking down at the view. She's never moved so fast. She learned to swim on her front, but swam backwards. She tried climbing trees but got stuck. She wanted to go on the bouncy castle with the big boys when she was out with her grandparents. And when Grandma decided she should come off, she wasn't coming off. And she was right at the back of the bouncy castle. So Grandma had to get on with all these boys jumping about and bounce her way across and grab her and get her off. When she was 13, she was in the Girl Guides, and there was an invitation from some other guides to join a tall ship sailing down the channel and experience life in a tall ship. They had one place, Kate knew nobody, none of the girls, none of the leaders, and said, "Yeah, I'll go, yeah, great," and did that and enjoyed it despite being seasick. It was a great experience. And of course, when she was 18, she went off to New Zealand on her own for 3 months, 6 weeks in a camp and then travelling. did a skydive. That was one of the hardest things we experienced. She left on the evening of New Year's Day from Heathrow Airport. I've never seen Heathrow Airport empty. There was the last flight, no one else there, and she just sort of waved goodbye. She disappeared through the doors. We were lost, except you. You didn't realise how upset we were, did you? So just, yes. In addition to the New Zealand trip, Kate simply loved family holidays and remembers them so well, including, as she described it, a fantastic trip to the USA. She loved a beach, especially that one. That's Widemouth Beach, just south of Bude. And she chose to go back there after all our family holidays. That's where she wanted to be on her 18th birthday, and we went down there for that to celebrate, and loved bodyboarding down there. She had lovely times in Kent with Alison's parents, visiting Rochester Castle and eating ice creams. Like her brother, she had the opportunity to ski in Austria with her junior school just over the road. I was invited to join the trip the year Kate went, but she said it's uncool for Dad to come. So I had to wait till the next year to start my skiing. We did ski together in her teens and later, and I will always, always treasure the memory of skiing with her just in 2022, when she overcame her reduced lung capacity, got up to altitude and joined Alison and me in Austria, and we skied together. And that's a precious memory. And she was always a very neat and stylish skier. Tom is faster, but not quite so stylish. As Tom has pointed out to me in the last 2 weeks, she managed to get herself on that school trip to Italy, to Venice and Verona and everything else. It was a music trip, and she wasn't studying music. And then in the sixth form, she managed to get herself on the business studies trip to New York, as some of you will have heard earlier, despite having given up the subject, and did all the trips and didn't have to write any of the essays. So, yeah, he thinks she's quite jammy, and he's right. She and I were planning to go to Berlin together, but COVID got in the way, and that won't happen now. Cooking, anything with chocolate. She was in the kitchen, as demonstrated in a photograph that you'll see of her and Helly covered in chocolate as they made chocolate Krispies. We will all miss Kate's Yule log in the Christmases to come, and her paellas, and just being together in the kitchen. She was, of course, utterly beautiful, with a smile that lit up the room, and she had great style. She always loved dressing up from an early age. Alison's shoes, old curtains, things out of the toy box with Helly, Jenny. We've got photographs of them doing that, and she just looked great. She could wear anything on her head and look great, even her Teddy's jumper. She just looked cool and stylish. And in recent years, her spectacular fingernails became a trademark, courtesy of the artistic talent of her great friend Christine, who will speak in a moment. She was creative and talented. She was a better artist than she realised, and in fact, that is true of many things she did. She enjoyed theatre trips all her life with us, her godmother Mary, and others, and of course, performing herself on stage, either dancing or pantomime here. She began her great love dancing at the age of 3. She continued to dance ballet, tap and modern right through her teens, including dancing in some of the pantomimes, and eventually choreographing the young dancers in several pantomimes here. You will see on the videos brief extracts of her dance school performances, and one of her beautifully doing a salsa on a cruise with us. Interesting how the tutor kept picking her out as the one to demonstrate with. Over the past 3 years, it's been a particular pleasure to see her relishing being back on stage in pantomime, taking on leading comic roles and finding her confidence again. The close friendships she has made through pantomime have been a joy for us to see. The director of most of her pantomimes was Charles Burge, who is here with us, I'm pleased to say. And you will note, Charles, I haven't learnt my script.
No change there then.
No. In his card of condolence, he wrote this. She was, of course, one of our best actors, but don't tell her I said that. She had the knack of lifting the performance of all those around her. When she took fire, they were set alight too. But don't tell her I said so. It was still my ambition to elicit some display of respect for her elders. And you can tell her I said so. She loved books and reading. She was an early reader, and books and literature became central to her life. She could always be found with her nose in a book. At home, in the car, on the beach, anywhere she could find a comfortable spot to curl up and read. The range of authors on her overflowing bookshelves at home is wide, from A.A. Milne to Terry Pratchett, Tolkien, J.K. Rowling, Dickens and Shakespeare, and a wide range of contemporary authors. Most of her books are well thumbed, but there are piles of books bought and waiting to be read. Her beloved niece Daisy already loves books and loved reading with Auntie Kate, so we will be keeping most of Kate's library to pass on over the years to come. Other loves. Our local National Trust property, the Vine, had a special place in her heart, largely due to the ongoing connection with her beloved maternal grandparents, Grandma and Grandpa, and the tree they planted there and the memorial bench they sat on before they died. As you heard this morning, she loved her car. She passed her driving test first time. I didn't. And the Mini was the car she'd always wanted, and she relished it, and we're hanging on to it at the moment. Can't bear the thought of it going. She loved Lego, particularly the Harry Potter-themed collector's sets. She loved family, including the wider family. It was very important to her, as they are to Tom. And she valued time spent with cousins and great aunts and uncles. Shall I just call you aunts and uncles, is that? And from an early age, she loved her three uncles in particular, Jim, Tim and Chris, here in the front row. She loved quiz nights with friends and general knowledge, crosswords and watching University Challenge, and only connect with us at home. In her art and her writing, she paid close attention to detail, and I'm proud to say she's a fellow pedant like me when it comes to punctuation and the correct use of apostrophes. Although perhaps not an overt feminist, Kate certainly supported the empowerment of women, hence our choice of Miles and daughters as the funeral directors and Gourmet Queens as our caterers. I was particularly delighted this morning when a hearse and a car arrived at our house, both driven by women. It was a tribute to Kate. She was passionate about teaching, a career only cut short by her health condition and its wider impact. But last year she returned to the classroom as a learning support assistant, followed quickly by promotion to higher level teaching assistant. She gained a lot of satisfaction from one-to-one work with children who were struggling. And in fact, when she went into hospital, she told staff there that her greatest concern was that she would not be at school to help the children through their SATs. Across the 3 schools where she worked, she had some wonderful colleagues, and we're particularly pleased so many have been able to join us today. The cards and letters we've received from family and friends, old and new, since Kate died, have spoken of her beautiful and ready smile, her expressive eyes, her sharp wit, her kindness and love, that she was stoic regarding her health, inherited from her dear grandfather. She was remembered as a beautiful and shining girl, and, quite rightly, the daughter to be proud of. The cards and letters speak of the joy of watching her tease me and my brother Jim, of her bravery in the face of her illness. Alison and I recognise, treasure and are proud of all of these traits, but we also witnessed an inner strength, the depth of which many did not see. She needed to dig deep into that at particular times in her life, none more so than during her mental breakdown in 2021 and during her last few weeks of illness. So finally, the last 3 years. Looking back, and with the benefit of hindsight and greater understanding of her condition, we now realise how vulnerable Kate was, and that without the specialist drugs that she was on, we could have lost her, would have lost her, some time ago. That makes the last 3 years of her life especially precious to us, and we've drawn great comfort from the good times she's had. After her breakdown, Kate eventually came home to live with us almost exactly 3 years before she died. Over those 3 years, she gradually rebuilt herself, and within the limitations of her condition and the medication she was on, she spread her wings as wide as she could. She experienced a lot of joy in that time with friends and family, back on stage, getting out and about again, back to work, and of course, laughing a lot. But there were two very special people in her life who brought her the greatest joy over that period. First was Tom and Ruth's darling daughter Daisy, our granddaughter, born just over 3.5 years ago. Kate revelled in the role of Auntie Kate. Naughty Auntie Kate, actually. She adored Daisy and would spend as much time as possible with her, reading to her and role-playing with her. If there was a new picture or video of Daisy on the family WhatsApp group feed, she would interrupt whatever she was doing to see it. Nothing else mattered more. And Tom and Ruth were generous in giving Kate time with Daisy and nurturing that role of Auntie Kate, as we, as a family, will ensure Kate's memory lives on in Daisy's life. The second special person is, of course, her partner, Brian. Although I was doubtful about him initially, well, he is a Scouser. Alison and I watched with delight as their relationship grew ever closer and deeper over these past 3 years. He unquestionably brought her a level of true joy, happiness and love that she had not experienced before. He accepted her just as she was and helped her to be herself, restoring her self-worth and confidence. During her recent illness, she chose to be at home with him before she went into hospital, and we knew that was the best place for her and the best support she could have. During these awful past couple of months, as together Brian, Tom, Ruth, Alison and I saw Kate's condition deteriorate, shared the horror of watching her lose her life and sought to process and somehow begin to deal with our grief, we have grown especially close to Brian. Brian is now family and the bond permanent. It's clear from the letters, cards and messages we've received that the ripples caused by her death have spread far and wide. She touched the hearts of all of you and many who could not be here, including the hospital staff who cared for her. So Kate has gone, but she is far from forgotten, as the number of you gathered here today bears witness. She will always be part of the conversation in our family and amongst her friends, in the stories we share, and at times of family gathering and celebration, and we will never tire of hearing your stories of her. That enduring legacy is perhaps best described in this quote from one of Kate's favourite authors, Terry Pratchett. "No one is finally dead until the ripples they cause in the world die away, until the clock she wound up winds down, until the wine she made has finished its ferment, until the crop she planted is harvested. The span of someone's life, they say, is only the core of their actual existence. For us, the span of Kate's life will extend way beyond the 35 years we were blessed to have her in our lives." Thank you.
David. Thanks. Don't know. All right, I think. Can you all hear me? Yeah? Hands up if you can't. Oh, thanks for those words, David, and also for putting the... Where's Tom? Oh, Tom, are you at the back, are you? Where's he? Oh, he's doing the tech stuff. It's good. Right. Sure he can hear me from here. Brian's given me some words to be able to read out about Kate. This has been the hardest thing I've ever had to write. Those who've seen me over the past few weeks know how much I've struggled to find the right words. I've been through many versions of this, and I hope Kate will be proud of me for being able to write it down, even though I'm sure she'll be listening in and making corrections for my grammar. We first met back in 2013 at St John's. We joined in the same academic year. We managed to do many residential trips for Year 6 and Year 4 during her 6 years, having some great times with those year groups. I vividly remember hearing her scream out when a child vomited on her during dinner. That probably wasn't one of her highlights, though. Kate truly shone as a teacher. She touched the lives of so many children in every school she worked in. Colleagues from St John's and Chiltern will both know how much she loved teaching. She was heartbroken this year when her illness started and she missed guiding her Year 6 class through their SATs. That speaks volumes about her dedication. She gave her whole heart to all the children in her classes. It was something that never wavered throughout all the years, even when she struggled with her own health. At the time we first met, I never imagined that this amazing woman would become such a huge part of my world. No one was more surprised than me that many years later, after she'd left St John's, that we would still be friends, and that our friendship would grow much further. Kate has been a constant in my life for these last few years, albeit too few years. But she is always there for me. Together we shared times that felt as though we'd been together for decades. We helped each other heal through our own personal heartbreak, and we both emerged stronger. We planned our future together, yet cruelly never got to experience it to the extent that we both wished for. But we loved all the opportunities that we had to share those dreams with each other. We built a love that grew deeper every day, and that won't stop today. I learned that unconditional love does exist, because I lived it. I felt it every single day, and I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life. I hope she knew just how much she meant to me. I told her every day. I just hope she truly believed it. I will continue her love of green clothes, and each time I wear green, I will think of her beaming smile and know that she will approve, because I saw the feeling of pride she felt when adding yet another green jumper to her already bulging wardrobe. I'm proud she raided my wardrobe to steal so many of my hoodies, and I do feel just as proud to have reclaimed a few of them back. I'm so grateful you've all embraced today's theme of colour. May we all continue to wear green with the same joy, smile when it happens, and please think of Kate each time you do. I know this is meant to be about Kate, and I can just picture her rolling her eyes at me for this, but allow me to mention a few of the people who made a difference to her life too. I do know she'd forgive me for this, because these people meant the world to her, and they deserve to be honoured too. To Lauren and Christine and the Panto crew. You gave Kate back her smile, her laughter and her joy. Year after year she lit up when playing dress up on stage with you, and even more so in the quieter months between performances when you all simply got together as friends. For that gift I'm so grateful. Thank you for being good friends. To Helly, I don't need to look at old photos of two cheeky-looking children playing together. I know how present you are in Kate's life. You're woven into so many of her stories, into her memories and into her heart. I knew you came as a pair, and she will always be looking out for you. If I could build you a shield made of Lego to keep you safe the way she would have done, then I will do that for you. I'm truly honoured to call myself your friend, as you are a very special lady. The next person is absent today, and I know her as Little Miss Daisy, and she is already a force to be reckoned with. Headstrong, bright, full of spirit, a stunning smile. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Daisy, there is another strong-willed woman smiling down on you, little lady. Someone that is bursting with pride that you called her Auntie Kate. Excuse me. Please keep that name close to your heart. She was so proud to hear you say it. And to Tom and Ruth, good luck. You've got your hands full. But what a wonderful gift you have in your life. And finally, to Alison and David, I've only known you a relatively short time, but through Kate's eyes, I've seen your love, heard of your influence, and your spirit has carried her forward. From all the stories and treasured family moments, to visits to the Vine, to honour those no longer with us, it's clear that so much of the Kate that we love was shaped by you. You didn't just raise her. You didn't just raise her as a child. You helped her rise again when it mattered most in these last years as a wonderful woman too. No one needs to tell me what kind of people you are. I've seen it for myself in abundance these last few weeks and in the months before when I managed to spend time with you. You've made this loss almost bearable for me personally. You've comforted me every day and shown me so much kindness. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. There are so many things I miss about Kate, things I know that many of you will miss too. Her beautiful face, her sparkling smile, her infectious laugh, her ridiculous faces, her wicked sense of humour, her comforting hugs, and her incredible bravery through the adversity she faced into those last few weeks. Kate loved capturing life around her with a photo. Now we have a catalogue of over 8,000 images and videos to remember her by. Many showing the qualities that I've just listed. I feel very proud to have featured in some of those moments, and I hope you all can find more of your own memories when she touched you, and your memories too. Please share them with everyone here. She will want you to remember her and to laugh about those times too. And I would love to see the more photos and add them to my collection of memories. And finally, I want to share something that Alison reminded me of recently, and it's helped me more than I can say. Please do not speak about Kate in the past tense. Do not say Kate was or Kate used to, because Kate still is. She is with us all, in our hearts, in our memories, in our conversations. She is missed deeply, but she shall not be forgotten. While I'll miss her physical presence every single day, but I know our love is eternal. It will carry me through until we meet again. If I had just a few seconds of time again with her, I would simply say, I love you, Kate, always and forever. Thank you for those words, Brian. And with that, Lauren and Christine, can I invite you to come up and to share some of your words? Thank you.
No pressure following that then. Kate would have loved this. I mean, you know, not being dead. You know, celebrating her. And let's be honest, she wouldn't want us moping around too much, would she? She'd probably tell us to pull ourselves together, maybe with a perfectly timed, dry-witted comment that would make us laugh, even through our tears. If you don't know me, I'm Lauren, the better-looking ugly sister. Sorry, Kate, had to have the last word somehow. So for me, so many memories revolve around the glorious competitive chaos of quiz nights. She was, in her own understated way, a formidable opponent, or more often, an indispensable teammate. Now, the thought of facing a music round without her by my side, it's just not fair. I mean, I'm genuinely annoyed, you know. I'm going to have to actually learn song lyrics now. Thanks a lot, mate. You've just dumped all the hard work on me. It's funny, isn't it? You know, when I think about it, Kate and I, our friendship, we didn't know each other that long. But we were just talking recently about her first time coming back to Panto and the fact that we didn't remember seeing each other at auditions, but our casting director felt we had excellent chemistry. And that we did. She was the big sister I never had. She was the one I turned to for advice, the one who encouraged all of my terrible ideas and who unequivocally changed my life for the better. Kate was, above all, the kindest soul you could ever hope to have met. She had a way of, I can't read it now. She had a way of making everyone else feel seen, heard, and utterly cherished. But don't let that fool you. Beneath that warmth was a comedic genius, a quick-witted master of the one-liner who could make you laugh effortlessly. She taught me that sometimes the best magic is found in glitter, a terrible wig, and the courage to be unapologetically yourself. My dear friend, I miss you more than words can say. I miss your kindness, your hilarious observations, your witty comebacks, and the way you lit up a room. The world feels a little dimmer without your sparkle. But even though you're no longer physically here, your spirit, that incredible blend of compassion, sharp wit, and delightful humour, lives on in every one of us. So thank you, Kate, for the laughter, the wisdom, the inside jokes, and most of all for being you. You were truly magnificent and you will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine, and I am a friend of Kate. We weren't there for each other's childhoods, none of our school days. We don't have many social media-worthy photos together, and the ones that there are involve really horrendous panto makeup and costumes. And for most of our adult lives, they actually ran in completely different directions. But in one single moment, we met at a time that was meant to be. September 2022, I was introduced to Christchurch Players amateur theatre group. Kate and I met about a week or so into rehearsals, and we just instantly connected. It was effortless with her, and I'm sure so many of you here can say the same for your friendships with her. What started out solely as a love of the theatre turned into us realizing that we both had a very passionate love for nail art and having our nails painted. And I convinced her in a very weak moment to leave her current nail technician and come and join me. I must add, I don't normally do that. It created a space for her and I to be incredibly vulnerable with each other and for our friendship to grow because it was a safe space. For 2 hours, once every 2 to 3 weeks, we drank tea, I painted her nails, and we supported each other. What stood out for me is that working in the beauty industry, appointments can actually be quite emotionally draining, but with Kate, every single appointment with her left me uplifted, and I never felt drained of any energy when I was with her, even when she had me freehand painting the Eye of Sauron for Lord of the Rings nails. Or fluorescent polka dots so that she could please her year sixes, or when I did her jester nails for panto and we did different nail art for every single nail. She loved them to be bold, and something that's really touched me today is how many people have put effort into having your nails painted. She would have loved that. Truth be told, though, I think Kate did more for me than I did for her. When we met, she had already walked such a tough road, and her strength and resilience was evident. She ended up coming alongside me during many difficult doctor's appointments and my own diagnoses and things like that, but we ended up navigating health issues together. When life throws difficulties at you, I think we should all be more like Kate. She dug deep, she fought back, and for a short while she was winning. 35 years doesn't feel like it was enough for Kate. But she lived more in those years than many of us have. She had a wisdom that comes from seeing storms and living through seasons that so many of us would not cope with. Her steadfastness was admirable. Even when she was struggling, she would still show up. She would still be present, and she always gave her best. And this is even evident in that I spoke to the chorus of panto, and I asked them to share with me some of their favourite memories of her. And bless, they're coming from young children, so they're, not going to be very poetic or anything, but the first one is, I love the way that Kate always said hello with the biggest smile. Kate made sure that on snack weeks, there was always something special that I could eat because she knew that I couldn't eat the other food that had been provided. Kate always made panto fun, even when she was teaching us dances for the show. Kate was a really nice, funny person who I liked to be around. She was always kind to me, and she also taught me how to play Sudoku. Kate knew how to have fun. My favourite memory of her is her learning the in-sync bye 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 dance so she could do it at the last karaoke party. I might have video evidence of that, by the way, if anyone would like to see it. I don't really know how to be from here. 2.5 years with her doesn't feel like it was long enough. We still had so many more pantos to do together. We still had so many more nail sets to come up with and hilarious conversations to have. How do you even begin to fill a Kate-sized hole in your life? I believe you do it by continuing to fulfill her legacy. Be bold. Be kind. Have integrity. Fight for what you want. Show love and care deeply. And always chase after life.
I don't know, they say something like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, and then come with that. Thank you for coming up and sharing those memories as well. And the day wouldn't be complete without hearing from her brother as well. So Tom, can I invite you to come up and to share some of your words as well, mate?
Thank you, Will. Will's a mate of mine from Southampton, and I've never seen him in a sort of serious role. He's normally very silly, which is probably why I like him so much. Thank you. I'm just sorting my notes out here. I'm reading off an iPad, not because I'm some fancy tech guy, but because I've been editing what I'm going to say, literally right up until the last minute. So my nickname was lastminute.tom, and I'm still still living up to that, apparently. What a sea of green it is. I'm going to break a rule for funerals. I'm going to take a photo of you all. I hope you don't mind. We're all looking upset and sad, but I think it's worth it because I think we should remember this. I can just about get you all in. There you go. Thank you. Actually, let's get one with me in as well. There we go. Will mentioned that Kate, the ancient Hebrews didn't have a word for face. It was always faces, and Kate had many faces. You are going to see some of Kate's faces later. There were many faces. You will also have heard some of my stories already today, but again, apparently that's no different to any other time that I'm telling stories. Over the last few weeks, I have found myself weirdly looking forward to today. Not for a sense of closure, whatever that means. I don't feel like I need closure. I feel like I will carry Kate with me for the rest of my life. But today is a day that we get to celebrate Kate, all that was brilliant about her. And as I've been preparing for today, there has been so much that has been so brilliant. And the other reason I've been looking forward to today is because I knew I'd get to see all of you. It's a strange sort of comfort seeing so many of your favourite faces together in the same place, especially on a sad day like this. It's also wonderful to see so many complete strangers too. No idea who some of you are, but it's nice, very nice that you're here. I'm sure you know who you are, and Kate knew who you are. But I had a unique experience. My name is Tom, and I am Kate's big brother. Although, since she realised that she could drop the R, she's referred to me as her big bother. There's an insight into our relationship for you. So, in true pantomime style, we're going to have some fun today. And that is how you are going to refer to me throughout this tribute. So whenever I say brother, I want you to say bother. Let's give it a run through. I'm Kate's big brother. Bother. Thank you. That was pretty good, actually. I was expecting that to be lousy. In fact, I've even written down here, lousy. Anyone would think you're at a funeral. But that was pretty good. So anytime I say brother, you say brother. Perfect. Kate was indeed my little sister. And without any immediate cousins growing up, we were allies as children in a family of grown-ups. Now, although we did play together, we also argued a lot and fought a lot. Of course, as her older brother, thank you, I would always win. Until the day I didn't. We found ourselves back to back, arms interlocked, and she threw me over her head, and I came crashing down onto a chest of drawers. And we didn't fight again after that. The arguing continued, of course, and over the years we have robustly debated many subjects. Which is better, scouts or guides? Who should get to stand in the serving hatch between the dining room and the kitchen when mum's serving dinner? You know, important stuff like that. And of course the big one. Do film adaptations spoil the books, or does reading the book spoil the film? I'll let you guess which side of that debate each of us represented. We moved house to number 12. When we moved house to number 12, a whole new world of adventures came along. We had woods out the back and a huge garden with shrubs big enough to make dens in. She fearlessly tried to keep up with her big brother. Very good. Now, anyone with you have heard this story already, but anyone with a keen sense of adventure may have noticed that the banister rail at number 12 is excellent for sliding down. So on one occasion, I threw my leg over, slid down, and then watched as an 8-year-old Kate propelled herself onto the rail with such exuberance that both of her legs ended up on the other side, and she was left dangling from the top of the stairs. I seem to remember Mum came to the rescue on that occasion as I moved some pictures out of the way so that Kate wouldn't kick them off the wall. Kate's strong, she'll sort herself out. Growing up, we went to the same infant, junior and senior schools. Although due to our 3-year age gap, it was only once Kate started at Thiel Green Secondary that we really had much time at the same school, spending 4 years travelling in and out each day, generally on the school bus, and then in latter years being chauffeur-driven in the green Vauxhall Corsa by her big brother. Very good. It's getting a little quieter each time. Keep the energy up. It was during this time that we shared a mobile phone. Just let that sink in. Imagine, just at the point we were each bravely starting to converse with individuals of the opposite sex, and then discussing these endeavours with our fellow co-conspirators, having to negotiate the sharing of the phone with your own sibling. The risk of intelligence leaks, or at least delayed responses, was immeasurable. A mutually beneficial unspoken agreement was swiftly arrived at. Thankfully, it didn't last too long. The phone wasn't all that we shared. We also shared a love of performing. And many of our shared performances took place at school or in this very room. And it occurs to me that some of you will be in this room for the first time in many, many years, having last been on that stage. Today must be a bit strange for you. And many of you will come back in a few weeks' time to start the next panto. We wish you well for that. Break a leg. My thanks as well to Reverend John. This building, as we've said, is a special place for us. Having spent a considerable chunk of our Friday nights and Sunday afternoons rehearsing and performing here, building our self-confidence, our skills, and deep, lasting friendships. Kate joined me at our church youth events heading off to Spring Harvest and Soul Survivor, and danced in the Taste Youth Church dance troupe as well, making many more friends. A sense of camaraderie underpinned our relationship, along with the arguing and teasing, of course. And despite increasingly different hobbies, interests and social circles, we retained a sense of being teammates, slotting into our place in the family, especially when helping Mum and Dad hosting a White Down Road. I took a few trips from down to Chichester to visit her at university, and she always kept a jar of coffee in just for my visits. We, of course, shared many family holidays. Our first foreign holidays to Menorca and Barcelona, our once-in-a-lifetime road trip around California, and a family skiing trip to Austria. Closer to home, we would often go and visit our grandparents, or Uncle Tim and Auntie Alison. And I now realise, as a parent myself, that these breaks were a treat for Mum and Dad just as much as they were for us. Now, talking of holidays and extended families brings me on to the Fort Gang. 30 years ago this year, in fact, we and 3 other families went on holiday to a Napoleonic fort on the south coast of Devon. 10 of us kids, off the leash with our imaginations, water pistols, bats and balls. It was paradise. And with 6-foot thick stone walls, we couldn't do much damage to the fort, so we were left free to roam, largely unsupervised by our numerous parents, who it turns out were drunk the entire time. There are... Oh, yes, they were. There are hours of video evidence of this as well. The use of the camcorder was unwise. But as you'll see later, very, very helpful, actually. Now, where was I? We saw her in the new millennium with these and some other great friends and began a tradition of giving a decorative commemorative plate for each of the kids on their 18th birthday. And Kate treasured hers. And so to Cornwall, our spiritual home, where I happened to be writing this speech just last week. We've been holidaying there since before Kate was born. And the sand, sea, sun, wind and rain is all in our blood. Where did we celebrate Kate's 18th birthday as a family? In Cornwall, of course. And it was there that she had her hen do as well. Many years ago, a thunderstorm-induced power cut one night in Great Torrington resulted in Dad fumbling around downstairs to try and find a torch, carefully walking with his arms out in front of him, unaware that the banister rail was coming. And he walked straight into it, hit his chin hard, much to the amusement of his 2 doting children. I know. Yeah. We visited the Eden Project the year that it opened, and Kate and I went back there for a day out on our most recent holiday, which I think was the last day out together as sister and brother. Louder. Very good, very good. On the 16th of August 2004, we very nearly got caught up in the infamous Boscastle flood. Instead of having our planned cream tea in Boscastle that afternoon, Mum suggested that we head north to Morwenstow, where the skies looked brighter. A good choice, it turned out. Because rather than watching Dad's precious brand new Mercedes-Benz float out into the Atlantic Ocean, along with hundreds of other cars, we instead went back to our cottage, now surrounded by the gushing brown waters and the flooded fields, and watched the Sea King rescue helicopters flying overhead, and then appearing on the live TV news feed, picking people off the rooftops, before flying back over our cottage and off to the safety of Bude. A Winnie the Pooh story seemed appropriate that evening, in which we are entirely surrounded by water. And Mum's daily Bible reading was astonishingly Jonah and the whale. The Lord works in mysterious ways. We returned to that tea room in Morwenstow nearly 20 years later. But this time, Kate had become Auntie Kate. Daisy came along 3.5 years ago, and Kate was absolutely over the moon. She doted on Daisy, buying gifts, playing, or just cuddling at any opportunity, and as we know, reading stories. When Kate lived in Southampton, she would often drop in to see us, especially once Daisy turned up. Kate had also been thrilled a few years earlier to finally have a sister when Ruth and I got married, and she was, of course, a bridesmaid at the wedding. In our experience, Kate was fiercely loyal and protective, kind and thoughtful, emotionally astute, accepting of others, and aware and supportive of people who struggle in certain social situations. She was practical too. She went and did shopping for us when Daisy was born, and even helped me to build our kitchen cabinets. In fact, she was a great DIY buddy, and most of the time we worked really well together. But becoming Auntie Kate gave her a new identity that she thrived in. And she took it upon herself to be the bad influence auntie. Goodness knows what sort of trouble she and Daisy would have got up to in Daisy's teenage years. Now, I had thought of various very emotional ways of concluding this. But I think I have a better idea, because we're all upset enough as it is. And besides, now all of you know, as Kate did, that she was loved by all of us, especially her big brother. So, how do we end this? Well, Kate could be very serious and very sensible, but she was also very, very silly. And she loved Monty Python and Spike Milligan. And as we know, she enjoyed a pub quiz. So that's what we're going to do now. Welcome, everybody, to the world's worst ever pub quiz. Partly because it's at a funeral, and also because it's in a Methodist church, which means there's no booze. Now, taking a leaf out of the Pantomimes book, you don't need to worry about putting yourself in teams. I've already done that for you. So you guys here, you are Kate Expectations. There's a literary theme. Getting worse each time. At the back, you are Far from the Madding Kate. You guys, Much Ado About Kate. If anyone's out in the overflow room, you are Educating Rita. And for those of you watching on the live stream, hopefully it's still running. Haven't had any message. No, we're all good. You are Kate Sino Royale. You'll have to text me the answers and I'll add up your scores later. The rest of you, just shout out. So, here we go, round one. Kate. What year was Kate born? I think that came from here, so that's a point for Kate Expectations. Very good. There's 10 rounds, make yourself comfortable. That's not true, don't worry, Mum. What was her favourite book series? No. Harry Potter, yes. That's another point for Kate Expectations. Storming into the lead. What schools did she go to? Points for both. I'm gonna give a few points here. You've seen QI. I'm following their scoring system. How many pantomimes did Kate perform in? 6. Points all around for that. Well done. You were listening. I need a quicker scoring system. What piece of furniture did Kate throw me onto? Chest of drawers. I heard it here first. Much Ado About Kate. Well done. Moving on to round 2, music and dance. What instrument did Kate play as a child? Piano. Mum. Making use of her somewhat unfair advantage. True or false? Kate was named after the singer Kate Bush. False, yeah, I made that up. It's absolute nonsense. What types of dance classes did Kate do? There's 3 points on offer here. Modern. I heard modern at the back. And ballet and tap. Yep. This is proving tricky to score this. This is very much a sort of work in progress. I'm sort of workshopping this here. How many pairs of ballet shoes did Kate get through in her life? I mean, it's a trick question because nobody knows. You don't know, do you? No, nobody knows. And which country did Kate visit on a school gospel choir tour, despite not doing GCSE or A-level music, much like a big brother who didn't get to go there? Italy, that's right. Right, moving on to general knowledge. This is the last round, don't worry. Which English county has the longest coastline? Cornwall. Who said that? Very good, very good. Bonus point if you can tell me how many miles it is.
More than 6.
No, it's 433. That's a lot, isn't it? That is a lot. The Jacobite steam train inspired the train in which series of novels? Harry Potter. Very good. A point at the back there. I better check. Has anyone texted in any answers? No. Something tells me this isn't going very well. Kate enjoyed a TV programme where contestants would travel the equivalent of a marathon. Which is the TV programme? Anyone? Strictly. My wife has answered it because she heard the questions the other day. Strictly Come Dancing. Strictly Come Dancing. Apparently, the amount of dancing they do, prancing back and forward, prancing, dancing, moving. Yeah, apparently it can equate to about the distance of a marathon over the series. I don't know how accurate that is. Okay, 2 questions to go. In which UK city was astronaut Tim Peake born? No, I'll give you a clue. It's twinned with the Italian city of Ravenna, famous for its mosaics. Chichester. Who said that? Brilliant. A point at the back. It's close between you two at the moment. Not that it matters. Finally, the opening of this church, the birth of my father, the launch of the original version of Kate's car, and the introduction of the first photocopier by the company that our grandpa would go on to work for, all took place within 3 weeks. In what year? 59, unequivocally this team. Because you know what year Dad was born. Right. Tossing out the scores. I'm afraid I didn't hear any shouts from the back room, and still no texts from anyone watching on the live stream. In 3rd place with 3 points, Much Ado About Kate. 2nd place with 4 points, Far From the Madding Kate. And the winners with an astonishing 6 points, Kate Expectations. I don't think those points add up to the number of questions that I asked for some reason. Don't trust the scorekeeper. So, that concludes the world's worst ever pub quiz. A cheer from one person. I'm not sure. What do we think? A pub quiz at a funeral, is that a good combination or a... No? Yeah, okay, good. Especially, yeah. Thought it might be a swing and a miss, but it went okay. Anyway, I actually thought of probably a better way of finishing this, which would be to put together a video. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words, and at 25 frames a second, there's more in this than I could possibly say myself. So grab your tissues if you've got any left. We're about to hear from a little girl called Kate.
Tuesday the 2nd of May?
Yeah,
And what year is it?
May.
It's 1995. And how old are you?
5.
What are you going to do today?
Go to school.
Right. Do you like school?
Yes.
Well, who's your teacher?
Mrs. Swift.
What do you like best at school?
The playground.
Kate? Hello.
And action, please.
Well, this be a bit hard.
She complicated, left me and you to ride. She complicated, left
Pardon?
me and you to
Silly faces.
Don't do silly faces.
You're my baby complicated, left me on you to ride. The train pulled out, on behind, crazy about it.
Well done, lads, you fine fools. They have no idea we are, in fact, the most feared band of pirates to ever sail the 7 seas.
You know my baby long, great gosh, my baby tall. You know my baby she long, my baby she tall. Just sweep a little head and catch you, and I'll teach you
This is my goal. Grandma.
And Grandpa. You say Grandpa.
Thank.
Don't bite your finger, would you? Do I have a sandwich for us?
What on earth do you think you're wearing, Jessica? What I was told to, sire. I was told to wear my night attire.
She complicated, left me amused, right? She complicated.
I can't get up. I can't get up, Bob.
Yes, you can.
I see that you, Bob.
Breakfast on the lawn. It's beautiful sunshine.
Splish, splash, the tide is going in around, turning in the morning. Splish, splash, splosh, splish, splash, splosh. Hello, Bob. Hello, Bob.
What do you want me to do? Yeah? Oh. Oh! There's no more off to go, Daisy.
Just talk for William.
I might. See you later. What? You ready for bed?
Ready, action. This is entitled Katie Walking Along the Garden. Into the sunset.
Right. You gonna say goodnight?
Yes, good night.
Good night. See you in the morning.
Sleep tight.
Sleep tight.
is the one that's on? Yes. Thanks for that, Tom. I've got to say, in the 300-odd funerals that I've presided over, there's never been a funeral pub quiz. I don't understand why. Thanks for that, really appreciated. Photos though, you didn't break with tradition. I've taken lots and lots of photographs at funerals, so I'm not sentimental, I'm just creating a really dark game of top trumps. Oh, bless you all. Well, we are at the end of this part of the proceedings. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming along. As John mentioned earlier, there is going to be tea and cakes available as well, so do please hang around for those and continue to chat and enjoy yourselves. Well, I do say that, enjoy yourselves. I think, Tom, what you said about the fact that you've been looking forward to this day, whilst it is a sad day, actually, it's an opportunity to be able to prepare yourself, prepare in your heart, and looking at how you can best honour your sister. And I think that goes for all of you have been preparing yourself to be able to honour Kate, and it's so good to be able to hear laughter here. It's really good to see smiles, because that's exactly what she would have wanted. So well done. I think you've done her proud. I'm going to finish just with a very short blessing. It's one that John provided me with. So it's an old Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen. Thank you all for coming today. Right, refreshments will be available. Take care.